So it looks like we're getting a new wave of 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends. Some are new, some are re-releases, but are any of these any good soulmates, and are they worth your money? Be sure you stick around until the end, guys, because we're going to talk about what Marvel characters we would love to see in this line next. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. Well, let's start with the re-releases, guys, and the first action figure we're going to take a look at is going to be SpiderMan. I reviewed this one because I got the Series 1 Spider-Man, that's the wave that he appeared in, and I thought that he was an okay action figure. I think that my main issue with it was that the paint apps were a little messy for an action figure that, well, cost $12 now. But hopefully if they took care of any of those QC issues, then this one is definitely going to be worth checking out because otherwise it's a pretty decent action figure. The colors on this one are nice and bright, the body fits Spider-Man really well, and another thing I really like is that it has black lines outlining the red detail against the black detail. A lot of Spider-Man action figures are missing that hard outline, but this one has it, and I think it's a better action figure for it. For me, I definitely think that this one evokes that mid-70s, early 80s feeling, and if that's what you're looking for, I suggest you maybe take a look at this one. Second action figure we're going to take a look at from this wave, guys, is the Hulk, and this is another one that I think is really nice. I think that this looks very much like a classic Hulk, again from the mid-70s, early 80s period, and I love everything about this one, really. I just love that he's an original sculpt. I love that he's larger than the other figures. I love that he's got lots of nice sculpting details on his pants, and I think that he's just a great action figure all around. Colors look great. If you missed him for some reason the first time around, or you're just late getting into the line, I think he's worth checking out if you're interested in 3 3/4 inch action figures. Just like Spider-Man, Hulk is another Series 1 re-release. The third action figure we're going to look at from this wave, soulmates, is not so much a re-release as he is a general release. This is the yellow suit of Wolverine, and this was originally just a Hasbro Pulse exclusive because the brown costume was a general release, but now they're putting out the yellow suit version, and I think that this is a much better action figure than the brown costume version because they remembered all the paint apps this time around. Just like before, this is a really nice action figure. They got lots of great sculpting on him. The body is completely unique to Wolverine, and it feels like you're looking at Wolverine here. There's nice sculpting on the boots, and there's little separations between the black part of his boots and the blue part, and then there's little folds on his, well, underwear, and the claws look good. They're a little short, but you know, it's a 3 3/4 inch toy. I think it looks fine. Everything looks good here, and I think that if you don't have Wolverine, and I don't have Wolverine because I didn't get the brown costume one because I didn't like it, this one is very tempting. I think that he's going to be worth picking up, guys. The fourth action figure we're going to look at today, guys, is not really in the wave, but he is a 3 3/4 inch action figure being released as a deluxe release. This one is Ghost Rider, the Johnny Blaze version, and this one is really cool because it pretty much has everything that Ghost Rider fans want in a Ghost Rider package. You get Ghost Rider himself, and then you get Ghost Rider's bike, and that's kind of a big deal these days. You really want a bike with Ghost Rider, and true to form here, they got a bike that's pretty accurate to what we saw in the comics. Looking at this one, it really evokes the 1970s version of Ghost Rider, and if I were to change anything about it, I would add some flame effects here and there on the bike because I really think that would add something. It still looks cool though, and it looks more or less like we saw in the comics. Another thing that sticks out to me is that Johnny Blaze looks a little awkward here with his legs all stiff like that, and that's just a byproduct of the way that this line has been designed when they only have 7 points of articulation and there's no articulation in the knees. It's kind of too bad and it looks a little silly here, but I think that it still works reasonably well overall. I like the torso of Johnny Blaze a lot here. It really feels like it evokes that classic Ghost Rider look to me, along with that blue color. And the arms and the legs, they look a little generic to me, but I think they work well enough with the torso that it's not really something you're going to pay a lot of attention to. The price point feels like a bit much to me at $25. I feel like this would be a lot more reasonable at somewhere around $15 to $20 because the quality of these is generally pretty cheap if we're being honest. Like, there's not a lot that goes into these, and the bike is the nicest part of the package, and I know that's where most of the detail's going, but maybe $20 would be a little bit more reasonable, I think. Still, pretty cool piece, and if you're a fan of Ghost Rider, I think this is going to be pretty satisfactory compared to some of the other releases that we've seen from the 6-inch line. The next action figure we're going to look at from this wave, guys, goes back to the main wave that's being released. We're looking at Jessica Drew's SpiderWoman, and I like this one a lot better than some of the lady action figures that we've seen over the past waves because I feel like they put a little bit more effort into this one. One thing that I notice is that she's not wearing go-go boots this time around, and boy am I relieved about that, because we have seen a little too much of it for sure, guys. And looking at this one, it looks like it's a pretty okay version of her. Seems like the paint apps are reasonably well done, nothing looks too out of place here. And I like the web detail they got on her back. I know that there's a peg that web goes into, and I think that works a lot better than, say, the web wings did on Spider-Man. It looks nicer to me. And I think it looks nicer than the 6-inch version of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. That's how well I like this look on her. Another thing that really stands out to me here is the head sculpt. That looks really nice. The way the hair is flowing like that, it looks really good, and I don't know that I'm necessarily a big fan of head sculpts where the hair is just flowing, but wow, it looks really good. It really looks like it was sculpted just for her, and well, it was, and you can tell. That's how good the quality is on this. I don't know that I would call it perfect because I feel like there's still a little bit of room for improvement here and there, but this is leagues better than what we were seeing in previous waves, so I gotta hand it to Hasbro here for stepping it up a little bit. The 6th action figure we're gonna look at today, guys, is Power Man Luke Cage, and I love what's going on with this one. I think that the sculpt on the upper body is really, really nice. I love the chain detail, I love the bracelets, I love the flowing shirt that he's wearing. It really feels like it's lived in and he's actually wearing it. And then he's got that determined head sculpt and the headband, and you know, his hair looks all good, and he's got his pirate boots, and man, this really feels like a classic Luke Cage. I gotta hand it to Hasbro here. This is really nicely done, and I don't think it's bad at all. I really think that this one is nice, and it's definitely worth checking out. I just can't get over how good of a job they did on that shirt. Wow, the sculpting on that is good. If you're a Luke Cage fan, obviously this is a must, or if you're just a Marvel fan in general, I think that this is definitely worth your time, guys. The 7th and last action figure we're going to be looking at from this wave, guys, is Doctor Doom. And boy, this is such a great release and one that I was really excited to see. This is absolutely the best action figure in the entire wave. Not that the others were bad, but this one is just in another league. It's entirely new. Nothing is reused here. This is a new sculpt, and you can really see the work that went into it. That head sculpt looks absolutely fearsome. You can see the armor plating and the separations there. The tunic looks like it's well lived in, and the articulation there, it makes sense. I know it breaks up the look of the tunic, but you know what? It works for me. It worked for Toy Biz back in the day, and it works for Hasbro here. The cape looks great. There's nothing that looks bad here. I love this. This is such a good action figure, and it's totally worth picking up. I am so psyched by these new releases that I feel like Hasbro is doing some of their best work with the line yet. And I can't wait to see what more they do if this is any indication, because it looks like the quality of this line is going up significantly. Really, guys, I am looking at pretty much all of these and saying to myself, yeah, I want these. I am way more excited about what they're doing with this line right now than what I've seen recently from 6-inch Marvel Legends. Well, now that we've seen all of these cool new Marvel characters, guys, what Marvel characters do we want to see in the Marvel Legends Legends 3 3/4 inch line next. Personally, I really want to see them do a version of Dr. Octopus. I think that would be so cool. We already got Green Goblin. Personally, I would like to see a redone Green Goblin because the first one wasn't very good, I didn't think. But Venom was awesome, and I really want to see them do something crazy with Dr. Octopus. That would be so cool, and I can't wait to see how they do the tentacles. Well, Soulmates, what do you think of this new wave of 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends? Are these ones that you want for your collection? Do you like some but not others? Or are all of these just kind of leaving you feeling cool for some reason? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think of these down in the comments, and be sure you let me know what superheroes and supervillains you want to see in this line next. If you want to learn more about the new 6-inch Marvel Legends that have been revealed, you can watch that video here, Soulmates.